Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. My name is notiansans. This, of course, is Learn How to Edit Stuff, and today we're making memes. We're doing it the easy way in Adobe After Effects using Rotobrush 2. Now, if you haven't seen my other video on Rotobrush 2, I would recommend going to watch that because I kind of go into excruciating detail about every little conceivable nook and cranny of Rotobrush 2. I'm not going to do that in today's video because we're just making memes the easy way using Rotobrush 2 in After Effects. There's a link in the description below for my other video and also a card. We'll put it up somewhere on screen so you can watch it there too. Also, my good friends at Wacom, is it Wacom? Is it Wacom or Wacom? I think it's Wacom. My good friends at Wacom sent me the Intuos Pro tablet to use for this tutorial because they said, hey, we saw your other Rotobrush tutorial. We think that you would like this tablet and try to use it with Rotobrush. And I was like, yeah, absolutely, send it. And it's dope. I'm gonna go through kind of like my settings. If you're on the fence, maybe you're gonna get one. Maybe you prefer to work in a tablet workflow. This thing is great. So if you want one, cool, link in the description below for you to go check out the store. If not, mouse and keyboard's your thing, totally understandable. I could go both ways. I've actually really been enjoying this though. All right, let's just jump right into it. We are making memes the easy way in After Effects using Rotobrush 2 with the Intuos Pro tablet from Wacom. And given the current political climate, we're going to use this video of Donald Trump dancing very badly because it's memeable now. It's over, thank God. Let's jump right in. All right, guys, After Effects is open, and down here on my timeline, I've got this video of Donald Trump attempting to dance. But when I first saw the video, it looked more like he was trying to get a candy bar out of a vending machine. So that's what we're gonna be doing today. We're gonna be extracting him from this video using Rotobrush 2 and putting him in a hallway and banging on a vending machine. Also, we might Photoshop a knife in his hand and make him carve a Thanksgiving turkey because that's topical right now. But before we jump in, I just want to give you guys a little snapshot on how I have my Wacom tablet set up. It actually is more ergonomic for doing like painting things in After Effects and using Rotobrush 2, which is pretty awesome. So check this out. Right here at the top, my very top button is the space bar. So if I hold down that, I can move my frame around just like you're used to doing on your keyboard. Right below that, Control, which is like a modifier for a lot of different things in After Effects. Below that, go forward one frame and go back one frame. And I currently have my wheel set up to zoom in and out, which makes the most sense for the functionality of it. And then right below that, I have Add Position, Scale, Rotation, and Opacity keyframes. So really these bottom four down here are like commonly used After Effects things that I use all the time for regular animation. And then up here, the top is really set up right now to use with Rotobrush 2. And if you guys have a Wacom tablet, maybe you're on the fence, like I said earlier, you can customize all of the buttons program specific. So I could have one set for After Effects, for Premiere, for Photoshop, and so on and so on. So I set this up to work with Rotobrush 2. You guys can set it up to work however you want. Let's jump into the memes. Oh, the pen, oh my goodness. So the top button on the pen is set up to be the inverse paint for the Rotobrush stroke, which we'll get to in a minute. And the one closest to the top here is a double click. So you can customize these as well. You also have keyboard shortcuts. If you want to use a mouse and keyboard, it's okay. But they sent this to me and it's cool, so I like it. Just had to let you know. Let's jump into the memes. So I'm going to double click on my layer and then come right up here to Rotobrush, and I'm going to add in my first initial stroke right where I want my subject to be. And you'll see that Rotobrush does a pretty nice job already of getting it all set up. But now what we're gonna do is add in anti-stroke. So everything that we don't want Rotobrush to capture. So you can see right around his shoulders right here, there's like some stars. We're gonna get rid of those. If you're using a mouse and keyboard, it is Alt and left click to get rid of, and it's just regular left click to add. And so I'm gonna go in here and I'm going to be very, very choosy with what I decide to include in this first initial propagation, because this first one is important. The more time you spend on this first initial propagation, the better results you're gonna have. So definitely make sure that you go in and you make it nice and clean, and don't grab too much or too little of the thing that you're looking at. Now, of course, for the sake of this tutorial, I'm gonna go a little bit faster, but I'm feeling pretty good about this. Once you have your first initial stroke, what I would recommend doing is come right up here to video quality and turn it to best if you have a pretty good computer. This will just kind of help a little bit. And then the other thing that we're gonna do, because his hand is moving in the video a lot, I'm going to enable use motion blur right now at the front of my roto so that it starts capturing some of that motion blur. I find that it works a little bit better later on. But once you've done that, you have your initial outline. Now we're gonna go over one frame. I have a button for that, but those of you that are on a mouse and keyboard are going to use Control and the right and left arrows to go one frame forward and backwards. But I've gone one frame forward, and Rotobrush 2 already doing a really good job at capturing some of this stuff. You can see the outline is really going to hold together, but this hand fist moving is going to be the problem area. So I'm just going to make sure to use little correction strokes where necessary, making sure that it's grabbing the hand as best as it can. And you guys are probably using a different video, right? So this is gonna be different for you, but I'm just gonna keep going over one frame and making little correction strokes, making sure not to grab a lot of the background. And so I don't bore you to death, I'm just gonna fast forward through this part, and you guys work on whatever video you're working on. See you in a second. All right, excellent. I think that did a pretty good job, and I don't know if you guys were paying attention to the fast forward segment, but I actually had to do very little correction strokes. Rotobrush 2 is insane. The new Adobe Sensei machine learning for the new Rotobrush tool is actually bananas. But if you guys haven't seen my previous video on Rotobrush, again, link in the video description below where I go into everything in much more detail, but I'm pretty happy with this. So now what I'm going to do is just come right down here to freeze, and I'm going to freeze my roto, which is going to tell After Effects to run through the propagation of all of my outlines that I just did, and I will fast forward through this as well. All right, and as soon as it's done, come right back up here to your composition. And now, ladies and gentlemen, you have removed something from a video using Rotobrush 2. Congratulations. And I know what you're thinking already. Well, there's a red outline around there. Rotobrush 2 sucks. All right, no, chill out. All right, we're gonna adjust some stuff. So I'm gonna zoom in real quick and get a nice little view going here. And then I'm gonna just adjust a couple things over here. So first and foremost, I'm just gonna feather this slightly to kind of soften up the edges a little bit. And then I'm going to shift the edge in a negative direction, which is gonna pull that line in a little bit closer to the chest so we don't see as much of that edge bleed there. And I'm going to reduce chatter by a pretty considerable amount, maybe 65, 66, and then I'm going to decontaminate the edge colors and drop this menu down right here. And I'm going to increase the radius of decontaminate edge colors. And if I bring it up a lot, you'll see that all of that red outline is gone, but it is doing something weird to his face, right? You can see the outline here if you click on view map of kind of where it is decontaminating those edges. So I'm just gonna make sure to like shrink this down to a pretty little amount. I think 7 looks about good. That's passable, that's passable. Okay, so this is looking pretty good right now. I'm gonna scale Don up a little bit right here, and I'm going to actually zoom out just a touch and just kind of move him around in the scene right to about there. And now what I'm gonna do is find some background elements and of course the vending machine for my scene. Now I'm gonna blow your minds a little bit. I'm gonna go to Envato Elements, and I'm gonna download everything that I need. And by the way, you can get 70% off your first month at Envato Elements in the video description below. Go to the link tree, there you will find a discount code. It helps me, it helps you. I'm using that, you can use whatever you want, I don't care, but check this out. Envato Elements, I'm gonna go back to mouse and keyboard here for just a minute, and I'm gonna search for hallway. And this one looks good, nursing home hallway, great. I'm gonna download that. And I'm also going to search for vending machine. And in Envato Elements, they have this really cool 3D section, which I don't know if a lot of people know about it, but I'm gonna click on this vending machine. I'm going to go to view 360-degree render. And basically what I'm gonna try to do is match the angle of this vending machine to the angle of Donald Trump. So maybe, I don't know, right there looks pretty good. That'll probably work in our scene. So now that I have my angle, I'm going to download the angle from Envato Elements, which is amazing. And now I'm going to take those two images and bring them back into my After Effects project. Drop that nursing home photo right down here at the back side. Maybe scale it down slightly. Position it in a way that makes sense. We want to clear this door so that we don't see it. And then I'm going to drop in that vending machine as well. Scale it down. And maybe put it here. I'm also going to scale it vertically just to stretch it a little bit, just to make it look a little bit more like it belongs in the scene. And now I will move Mr. Presidente, ex-Presidente, hey now, move him over right here. And as he bangs on the vending machine, I'm actually gonna add some position keyframes to my vending machine. I have a handy little button for that on my tablet. I'm gonna go over 4 frames, and now I'm gonna go over a frame here and maybe just move this vending machine up a little bit. Maybe we move it back down a little bit, and then we move it over to the left a little bit. And basically what that's going to do is create a shake every time he bangs on that vending machine. So we're gonna go to where his fist is, right about there, and we're going to copy and paste those keyframes every time he bangs on the vending machine. And we can see it's kind of cutting off his legs here at the bottom because of the rotoscope, but what we can do is just bring him down. Maybe we scale him up just a little bit and bring him over. It's okay, everyone, don't worry. And then the next thing that I want to talk about when doing anything like this is making sure that all of your characters in your scene match the scene itself. So in this scene, we have a lot of like yellows and greens. And so what we're gonna want to do is color correct the vending machine and Donald Trump to kind of fit more in the scene. And then what I like to do, my secret sauce, is adding a layer of color correction over top of everything just to glue it together and make it look a little bit nicer. So let's start off by pre-composing this vending machine and also Donald Trump, just to make sure that we don't get anything weird going on, because we're going to apply some color correction to it because it had Rotobrush on it. Sometimes After Effects freaks out. But anyway, what I'm going to do is add a Lumetri color. And by the way, I am using the After Effects effects console, which is from Video Copilot. It's free. You can search for anything inside of After Effects. Highly recommend. In the video description below, you can find that. Anyway, okay. Lumetri color, and I'm going to come down to my color wheels, and I'm going to add some like greenish yellow into the midtones here. Just to make him match our scene a little bit more, because obviously he was standing outside during the day, he is inside at night, so we need to definitely give him some color correction to match the scene. And I'm not going to take a long time to do this. You guys should take much longer than me, but for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to kind of blow through it, bring down the shadows a little bit, give him a little bit more contrast, and he's looking pretty good there. Now onto the vending machine, again, Lumetri color. And I'm going to do the same thing here, just kind of pull it into the greens and the yellows in the midtones. Maybe boost up the highlights a little bit and give it some greens in the highlights, just so it looks like it belongs in the scene. And then the last thing I'm going to do is come up here to layer, new adjustment layer, and I'm going to add a magic bullet looks. You guys probably don't have this unless you have the Red Giant Suite. That's totally okay, but the concept still stands. You can add a LUT from, Lumetri color over top of this just to glue it all together, but I'm gonna go with Rubber Sole. Hit my little check mark. That's gonna like glue everything together just a little bit more. And to add a piece de resistance, I'm also going to add a camera shake to my adjustment layer, turn down the master amount to 50% and turn down the frequency to something like 0.5. And now it's adding just a little bit of camera shake to our meme. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have extracted Donald Trump from that video and placed him inside a nursing home hallway banging on a vending machine that will not give him his candy bar. And that is the power of Rotobrush 2 in After Effects. Give yourselves a round of applause. Well done. Did you follow along? Well done anyway. Seriously, Rotobrush 2 is actually insane. Imagine if you had to frame by frame mask out Donald Trump from that scene and then put him into the scene. It would take you hours, maybe even days to get it to look right. But with Adobe Sensei, machine learning, crazy scientific amazingness, you're able to do this in a matter of minutes, right? Like, of course I'm editing through this tutorial and like cutting it down a little bit, but this actually takes no time at all. In real time, I think I was masking him out of this thing for like 5 minutes, maybe less. If you were doing this frame by frame with masks and stuff, it would have taken so much time. So this really does save a lot of time if you're going to make memes. And Rotobrush 2 isn't just for making memes, right? If I wanted to put text behind me right now, what I can do is I can roto myself out and I'm moving my head side to side and the text is being masked by my head, and that would just take so much longer if I didn't have Rotobrush 2. So there are a lot of different uses for Rotobrush 2, but I've found that extracting people from videos and making memes is a really good use of Rotobrush 2. Also, I know I said that I would put a knife in his hand and make him carving turkey, so here's that video. And if you're curious, I just used tracking on the video layer to track his hand. I tracked that information to a null object, and then I parented the knife to the null object to make it look like he's holding it, and it follows his hand flawlessly. Well, boys and girls, that about does it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. My name is notiansans. This, of course, is Learn How to Edit Stuff. I do want to give a special shout out and a thank you to Wacom for sending me this tablet. It is really, really awesome. If you guys are curious, I plan on using it for Rotobrush for sure because it's ergonomic and it's nice. But also, have you seen those dance music videos where people like draw the outline of people dancing and like do all these cool effects? This is great for that because you can go frame by frame using the buttons on the side and you can actually draw out all of your strokes. It's way more fluid than using a mouse and a keyboard, and you get way better results, and it kind of allows you to just like work independently on the tablet and do some drawing. So here's me working on it. If you guys are curious, I'm speeding it up, I'm doing a little thing. If I would spend more time on it, obviously it would be better, but you guys I'm sure would spend more time. Please spend more time, as a matter of fact. Spend more time on this stuff than I do. I'm just teaching you the basics on how to make memes in After Effects using Rotobrush 2. We love the tool, we love Adobe. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't already, please give this video a thumbs up, drop a comment in the comment section below, and subscribe if you have not subscribed. There are links in the video description below for you to support me and this channel in the link tree. There's a bunch of goodies down there, so just open the description, click around to your heart's content. Thank you again so much for watching this video, and I will see you next time.